Okay. Okay. This could be fun. Pretend you're at my bench and we're just talking nonsense. Okay, so once again I'm using white spirits. I use a little metal container. I'm going to put it in there. Perplex in there. I'll just put a little bit in here. You need very little. Really minors. There's next to nothing in there. I've got 3 brushes. Ideally, broad one's going to put, before we start the area, you're going to put the white spirits on. Second one with the wash, not a wash, it's a speaking ground, whatever the paint is, the pigment. You're going to apply it very little on a very thin brush, and then I'm using the third brush, and that's going to actually do the blurring. This one I did it a couple of years ago. I think it's either Testers or Humboldt paint in there, I don't know. And I assume I would have I might have used the Tamiya lacquer paint to seal it in, so we'll see what happens. I'm graduating towards the acrylics and sealing and those things, so it's the learning curve. So if it goes south, we'll learn what not to do.
Sorry, a question before you
yes.
start, how do you prepare the surface?
In an ideal world, with the Jaguar, I put a white primer on. It was a filler primer to fill up the little gaps and the bits and pieces. Then I used the Humbrol, so that was an Humbrol enamel, not an acrylic paint. So and Humbrol's quite a tough paint. So that was the Humbrol. Then I put the Alclad Clear gloss on to seal it in. Then I put the decals on. Then I put I might have put another clear lacquer on just to yes, I put a clear lacquer on again, because if you get silvering, when you gloss up everything, it hides. I find it hides some of the silvering after you've cut decals and try to set it. But gloss it up again, the whole thing up again. Then it's all a shiny model. Then you put the wash on it, the sludge, panel lines, wipe off, seal it in again. That can be a matte. That wasn't a gloss, and then we test drive this stuff. So those are all that stuff is the acrylics. I think it's the aqua glosses that I use. So it's all the acrylics. That's what they say, the professionals. So this one we don't know. Okay. So that's that, and then we use the special things for us old people. Cook, because then we can see. Okay, fair enough. We'll make it up. Right. So I've got very little in here. I want to wipe it in here. So I'm using the broad brushy thingy, and I've got very little things in here. Okay, it's like, and where the magic stuff comes in, don't saturate it. I lint something. I'm just going to wet it, and then I'm actually going to take some off. What I found with one of the tail planes of the Jaguar, after getting ready for things, I took the stuff and I wet it, and then I put the wash on it, and I had one of those surgical clamps, you know, with a ratchet on them, and I was holding it on the bit that's going to get stuck into the back of the tailplane, and next thing I thought, like, what's happened? There's something broken off. It seems like that actually attacked the bare plastic and made it brittle, and the pressure shattered it, so I had to drill it and sort it out. So this stuff, although it says it could be, it's still aggressive. So I had looked at some reference photographs of the things, and this is generally going to be a grimy area. These little panels over here, we're going to test drive that, and that's where we're going to start. So it's not you don't, you know, it's just wet it, just to even it out. So once that's on, I've put a little ball bearing in here to, not ball bearing, little. Not even, it's actually one of the special MIG ones as well. And I'm just just the tip. I'm just going to put some in there, just wet the brush, and I will use my magic things here. See what's going on. Start over here. This could be used as a panel wash as well. And because you've got the You put down that base load. The capillary reaction works a lot better. It actually runs into all of the recesses and the rest of it. So that'll help as well. And then there's one just behind the wheel well there. I don't know if you can see it, it's just running all over the place. It just fills up all the gaps. But that's not what we're aiming for, so we're going to get some marks on there. One of the effects I do like, which we're trying to aim for, you know, on the engine panels, you got all, on the rivets, you got all that streaking off a rivet. It kind of looks like that. That's kind of looks quite cool. So here, now I'm gonna see how this goes. This was pretty dirty. I've had some look at some reference photographs, and we're just gonna make a mess of it. If it does go south, we can clean it up. Okay. Now we've got to talk nonsense for a couple of minutes, because I've learned you've got to let it dry. Imagine it's dry. Okay, so I'm not going to use it a lot. I just want to get things, and then with the second brush, I'm going to wet it slightly. Let's see how this goes. And of course, this is where you must decide what you want, how much you want. And then, okay, that's not going so great, but they'd have to clean up over there, I suppose. But just off those rivets, you can just get some things flying back there. And you can see, I don't know if you can see how it's filled up the panel lines as well. You can't really see it. Well, you can see that the one up here, I suppose that's the obvious one. But there's a general dirtying up of everything. And then you work from there. Is it helpful? Yeah. So you do it again and again and again, but that's how you're going to do it.
Carl, would you use this for, say, gun port streaking?
Yeah. Maybe for the ejection cartridges, if that's what you're talking about. Not necessarily for the cordite. I suppose you can, but the idea is...
Well, yeah, if you're doing things for the cordite, you're probably better off there using pigments or pastels.
Yeah, I see. See, it's just dirty. Put a general dirty up, and I'm cleaning it up again. But come have a look-see. It's also got into the panel lines and done some things with the panel lines and the rest of it. Can't really see there. But that's just how you're going to have a go.
So what you did now, you do it from where or do you normally have to leave it to dry a little bit before you start?
You actually want it to dry, because while it's wet, it moves too easily. Yeah. You actually want it to dry, and then with the white spirit, re-agitate. What's it? Yeah. So and then you can work with it. It should dry. So I'd start on this one, and I'd go to the second wing. Then once that one, and then I go back to the first one would be dry. I've found that if you work with it while it's still moist, it doesn't come out that like you let it dry. So that's why I start one wing, work, and you can come back hours later, and then work your way through. The idea is, okay, you can work through under these things are dirty. You can the engine cowling would be next, those type of things. It works best when that stuff dries.
Just show that bubble in the camera.
This one is. Streaking, oh, cook. That helps streaking grime. Okay, and this is really, if you've got Humbrol, take some of the Humbrol, whatever colors is, browns and the rest of it, thin it out. It's the same thing apparently. That's all it is.
And the spirits?
This one is the same like Mark used. What I did try is with all of the, you look at all the MIG and all these guys and they say you use enamel thinners. I tried the enamel thinners and it went straight through the paint. And this thing just started to go mad. Then I tried the white spirit works. But it's not completely innocent as well. That's why I don't saturate it. Just wet it. That gets into all the panel lines, all the things, and then it's easy to, but let it dry. If you get a chance, come up and have a look at it here. The camera's not picking up everything. It's actually changed the white, which is too white, quite frankly. It's dirtied it. And it's got, and then you come back, and of course, you might. This is a brown. You might want a black for a different panel. Try something with a bit of red in it for hydraulic fluids.
I'll definitely try some greys as well. Light greys and dark greys would probably.
You change the tone, and that's right. And you do this again with another one, with another color. And the other thing that I'm going to, I need to get to is on these specific theatre kites. They had. I want to do a corsair and. Put all that dust on it. You know, after you've done the blue, they had all that, what kind of yellow dust. That's it. So you want to do that and do that rain marks on the side of the fuselage. That's the next step. They also put on, but so try a beige on the fuselage, leave it, and then with this, that's why you don't need a lot of white spirits on it. You just want it to move it slowly. And then streak it, because that's what the rain's going to do. So the tanks will be like that in your vehicle as well. But for the plane guys, you want to do it specifically at a kite, you had that dirt on it. I suppose the aircraft carriers, kites will also have the same type of thing on there. And you streak on the side of the fuselage. You can have a look at that. That one, I had more time, so you let it dry. And I didn't even say, that one hasn't even been sealed in. That's as it was.
And you find that if you go matte, semi-satin or gloss, the actual amount will adhere denser than
that's right. That's right. This
will be the most watery.
Yes, that's why you. That's right. That's right. This one is a bit rough, and that's why you want to let it dry. So the white spirits does take a bit of time to dry. I mean, it's still wet from my initial. So you want to go right through there and come back. But you can just, if you come against those panels. You build it up. Don't go boss. And work from there. I don't know if you can see it.
So they always say about weathering, you keep on weathering until you say, should I do a bit more? When you say, should I do a bit more, it probably means you should stop there.
That's right. This is quite a clean aircraft. I wouldn't do much. When you come have a look, see, I wouldn't do much more than that on those panels. Very little. It's not heavily used. But then I just take it all the way over. White's easy. The light blue is also going to be easy. The dark blue, I'd probably use a lighter color again.
Even with sealing the head, even priming colors.
Yes.
How aggressive is that white spirit, even with being sealed in?
The white spirit didn't do. Okay. My concern was those decals were one of those one-off things where you never know what they're going to do. And I struggled to get them down. I was careful with them. But after sealing them in with I actually used the Tamiya XF82, whatever, which is the flat. They've produced one that